Welcome everyone. We're in the Profit Acceleration Software Q&A calls, Q&A discussions. The primary purpose of other calls we do, like the Ask the Expert call or live event mastery training, the primary purpose of those is training. And then of course we take questions as well. And in this one, we're really focusing on the Profit Acceleration Software. And the primary purpose here is to answer your questions. And along the way, there's going to be some brainstorming, I hope, and there might be some training that comes out of it. But we're really going to count on you to ask questions. We have not come in with any prepared training whatsoever. That happens on other calls or, just in the software training page. We've done it all for you. But we realize that this is new technology for many people. There are some gaps. And sometimes it just takes a little bit of, someone to nudge you along the way. You go, oh, go and do this. And you go, oh my goodness, I wish I'd seen that last week. It would have saved me a whole ton of time. So I guess what we could do, Carl, we could just open up the floor. If someone's got a question, just raise your hand and we'll search for little hand signals. We'll put you live, have your question ready, and we'll do what we can to answer it. I'm wondering, is William with us today? William.
Yes, I was just looking for him. He is.
Ooh, there he is.
Here.
Yeah, you want to unmute him, and
yeah,
we have our developer William. Let's see if he's come on.
Yep, he's now. William, you there, bud?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, William.
Man of the
William
hour.
is coming to us across the world from Nairobi, Kenya, and. Yep. He is our developer, our senior software engineer, man with incredible talents to put all this together and run a million lines of code. So let's start with people who have a technical question. Because William is over there across the world, it's actually his bedtime. He's staying up late for us. So let's start with technical questions. And we'll answer those first, I guess. And if there's nothing technical, then we'll release William and let him go back to his wife and kids. Anyone with a technical question?
Yes, so guys, to put a question, you can just go and chuck it in the chat box and we can read it, or you just need to raise your hand. So Cynthia, hang on a sec here. Yo, Cynthia, we're coming for you. Hey, Cynthia.
Hey, guys. Man, Patrick, this is beautiful. I've been playing around with it and I really love it. I just have a little challenge I want to ask you about.
Yeah.
So when I was going through and doing a test assessment and I hit report, in my assessment, I made my coaching fee $19.97 a month, and that was my assessment. In my report, however, it showed that my coaching fee was $9.97 a month. So I couldn't get them to match up between what I did in the assessment and then what the report spitted out. Okay. I don't know if it's a glitch or if it was user error.
Okay, so it might be a glitch, but I think we found in a previous way to handle that. When you change your coaching fee, then save it there and then just refresh the page.
Okay, I did try that, but that was like day before yesterday, so I haven't done it in the last 24 hours.
Well, hang on the call. Go back to your, we can put you on mute and you can go and try it. And yeah, and then just come back on and let us know if it fixes. That might be an easy fix. William, if you have something else, William, I want you to feel free to jump in at any time.
Okay, just go ahead. Just demonstrate maybe. We see how it goes.
Yeah, so you can see my strange currency I'm using, like bot or something. I don't know. So let's do okay, so let me go to report. Right now I'm at 1497. I can scroll down and yeah, it's a great question because we've had this before. And where is ROI? Revenue valuation. It's been a while since I've looked at this, I guess. Oh, it's down here. Okay. There we go. So 17,964, right? Okay, so that looks right there, 17,964. I'm going to go back to ROI. And Here I'll scroll down. It says 17964. That's good. So let's just change this to 1,000. I'm going to calculate that. I want to go to reports without refreshing to see if that's the problem. Now we know where to look. 17964. You see it's still the same. So if we go back up to the ROI page, I'll just refresh my page. It stays as 1,000. That's what we want. There we go. There we go. Okay. So we refresh that. Let's go back to reports and scroll down here. Oh, a little bit further. There we go. It works.
There you go.
So
everybody see that? That's beautiful. Good job, Pat. I love it.
So William, the question for William, I mean, he doesn't have to answer it here. We'll talk about it later. But if there's a way to make that happen automatically, that would obviously be awesome. So
yeah,
Cynthia,
that's something I think. That's something that you should
I
actually
have
do.
one other off-the-wall question.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm running into a potential strategic alliance partner. He does business very differently. He does not use an email. He does everything by text. And I find that personally difficult to interact with. So
Yes.
in the trust area and expert, I mean, he's positioned very high and all that, but how can I address that issue with him as far as how the customer perceives him or the ease of doing business? Is there some line of questioning that can address that?
I've never had this brought up before, but I'll tell you, because I'm a father to teenagers, and we are digital immigrants, we call it. And so a lot of the things that happen that we do, on the laptop, on our cell phones, it's really new for us and it's not comfortable. For a younger generation, they're digital natives and they move in and out of technology very easily and second nature, and they love texting. So I would say to him, if he is dealing with a younger generation, texting probably is the best way to go. But if he's dealing with digital, if his primary target market would be digital immigrants, people who are trying to catch up on technology, they do not want to do business in text. And so he will lose probably more business than he can count. So what is his goal? Is it to help himself be comfortable, or is it to make sure his target market is ready to buy? If you can find that out, then you can help him get on the right track. Does that make sense?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I'm just wondering, is there any line of questioning that I can follow down that rabbit trail? Okay. I mean, it's so obscure. I just thought I'd ask.
Well, it's really interesting to think about. And I think when we look at target market, I wonder if there's something in there about how our target market uses technology. Maybe we'll have to add something there. Because I personally hate texting. I'm so slow. I'd rather pound out an email.
And send me a Zoom link on my phone. I Zoom on my computer, so at least I figured out how to send myself a Zoom link from my phone to my computer.
Sure.
But I mean, not everybody can do that easily. It's challenging for me.
Yeah, I know there's ways. Maybe William can address this better, but there's ways that you can have you sync your phone to your laptop, and then you can open up your messages on your laptop. So if you want to reply to messages, you don't have to do it on your phone. You just type out a message on your laptop. You can do that with an iPhone. WeChat, an iPhone. You can do it. Is that right, William?
Yeah. Yes, you can do that with an iPhone.
I'm sorry. Did you say WeChat? Is that what you said?
Is it WeChat? There's like different platforms that people use around the world that are more common than in North America. And when I was living and working in Dubai just a year or so ago, I was being forced to learn things like that and answer texts on my laptop and answer the WeChat text, because everyone's WeChatting everyone. I'm like, I hated WeChat, because it's just, I found it so intrusive to trying to focus and get work done. So yeah, anyway, it could be a way to do that. But
I know that was an outlier, but I just thought I would ask.
Oh, that's great. I love
No,
outliers.
great question.
Yeah, excellent. Good. All right, so we'll put you on mute. And anyone with a technical question for William?
We've got one more here. And anybody got another question, make sure you put up your hand or chuck it in the box, Valerie. We're coming for you. You're self-muted, Valerie. Got to unmute. There we go. Valerie, how's it going? You're live.
Thank you so much. I am a brand new platinum coach. So
Hey.
this is like my first time touching the PAS. And,
Beautiful.
so you are probably going to hear the neophyte nature of these questions.
That's all right.
But so I'm looking at my dashboard, and Patrick, thank you for answering my emails.
Sure, that's what I do.
And I don't see a settings option on the left side of my screen like you had when you go back to just dashboard.
Yeah, you won't have a settings function because I'm an administrator on the account, so you should have support and profile. Okay,
great. And then I have another, like, I just don't know what I'm doing question. And that is, I hear people saying, just get in there and play around.
Yeah.
And I don't really, funny enough, I don't really know what that means. So,
yep.
Set up, so I just set up a couple tests, the test profit jumpstart and the test breakthrough 40. So are you saying I should go through them, pretend I'm a company, put in fake responses and see how it all works? Is that what we mean by just get in there and play around?
Absolutely. That would be the first step. So, you can go in, you can create a new company profile, you create a new assessment. You will, select that company you've created. You select a module set, so it's going to be Profit Jumpstart or Breakthrough 40.
Yes, I did find those today.
Yep. So select your currency. And I think with dollars, maybe William has a different answer, but with dollars, it's going to be just dollar is a dollar. So it doesn't matter if it's Australian dollars, it just gives you the symbol. Okay. And then assign it a name. And, I usually do something that's a little bit descriptive. So if I'm working with XYZ daycare, I might do XYZ day. There's one that's come up before, daycare. So here's June 23. And then once we've got all those three, then you submit. So now you can see it's there. It's descriptive of working with XYZ daycare. So now so once you've done that, click on the link here that you've just created and just pretend like, oh, this is daycare's doing whatever financials, and give it some financials. And that's what I mean by playing around with it, and start going through it and asking questions. And I mean, when I would put together seminar modules and I'd be standing on stage, I'd literally just be in a room by myself and I'd be speaking to the wall. So you can do the same thing. It's like just, you're going to be talking out loud to a client. A great way to practice then is to speak it out loud, and you say, Joe, you might be unique, but it won't matter to your prospects unless it's a hot button issue for them. So you start reading it and you get fluent with it. So let me ask you, Joe, what benefits do you offer to your target market that separates you from all your competitors? So practice with it, have fun with it, speak to the wall. If you've got a friend, a partner, whatever, talk to them. Family friend who's got a business. After you've familiarized yourself with it, then you go out to your friends and say, hey, look, I've got this new software. I'd like to role play it with you. Could we role play it together? And then you role play it with them and you find them some breakthroughs and you say, thank you very much. And they go, wait, what's next? And I go, well, I could coach you, but normally it's $2,000 a month, but for you, I'll do it for only $950 because you're my friend. Whatever, you can role play it that way, but start with doing it by yourself. Start with a partner, a business partner, a friend. Then you move into family and people that's like you anyway, and you can make as many mistakes as you want, and they still love you for it. So I would do all of that before moving with a client. And I'm getting emails almost every day of, I'm jumping in with a client this afternoon or tomorrow. And they start asking me basic questions about the software, which means, You don't really know it. And I'm just really afraid for these people who are doing that, because they're going to bumble around and make so many mistakes, and it's not going to make them look good at all. So I really just hope you just play around with it a lot and just get to know it, get to know what kind of questions are asked in each section. And the more you can familiarize yourself with it, the better you'll do. So hopefully that answers your question there.
Great.
Yep.
Yes.
You have another
very
question
much.
we can answer? Sure.
Yeah, I did have a question. So when I looked at the difference between the Jumpstart and the 40, there is a much bigger list with the 40, obviously, but I just wanted to confirm the Jumpstart, I should be going through each one of these areas on the left. That is the true Jumpstart. Because when I looked at it at first, I was like, wow, that's a lot. But that is still the Jumpstart.
Yeah, these areas you see on my screen, there's 11 areas. We're adding in another few days or a week or so, we're adding a compelling offer to this list. So we'll have 12 areas. No, you do not have to go through each of the 12 areas. Sometimes on a Jumpstart, you're going to have time. Maybe you're meeting with them for coffee or something, or you're in their office, or they're in your office. You're going to spend 45 minutes together. Your goal is to find them breakthroughs in that time, a certain amount of breakthroughs, and you might only have time for 3 or 4 areas.
Okay.
So once you've found them a significant breakthrough, at that point, you go back to your summary screen. Let me just get there and go back to your summary screen. Well, I guess there's nothing on this one. So let me just pull up another one quick here, and hopefully there's something there. Yeah, so there's summary screen, and say, hey, look, we found you in this our 45 minutes together. We found you $509,000 in increased revenue. That's $302,000 of increased profit, which is a profit increase of 604%. You just walk through those numbers, whatever they are, and you want to find at least 100K in revenue, if at all possible. And so you say, imagine what we could do if we, did a full assessment together. And so that's where you want to sell the full assessment, or sell yourself into the full coaching. So, but just do enough to find the basics. You don't have to give them an hour and a half and walk them through every area.
Okay, perfect. That's just what I need to know. I'm using meant to pick what aspects of the Jumpstart I highlight, and then from there that sets me to talk about what more is possible, and then from there we see where we want to go.
Right, correct.
Yep.
Okay.
Actually, Pat, Valerie, could I just answer that in a couple different ways here? Just make sure you got a full spectrum. So you're looking at the software. So what you're looking at right now, Profit Jumpstart, look at this as your sales tool. Okay, so you sit with someone, you want to be able to find them, approximately $100,000 in roughly 45 minutes, and make them comfortable that, holy smokes, there's a lot of opportunity that I'm leaving on the table, a lot of profits that I'm leaving on the table and not exercising. So at the end of that meeting, it's like, well, what do we do from here? I can guide, I can help you. And by the way, if you thought that was good, wait till we do a full assessment where I go through, like this was, I had 11, I had 12, we're going to have 12 very shortly. So I've got 12 areas here that I could go through. I just chose 3 of them. We found you, again, $101,000, well and truly off to the races. When we go through the full assessment, I'm really going to blow your mind. And by the way, we're going to go through 40 different areas, and we're going to go significantly more in depth. And again, what you're going to find is there's going to be a lot of money left on the table. So the Breakthrough 40 is more of a consulting and really, digging deep, lifting up rocks to find the profit opportunities. And then the Profit Jumpstart is designed to close them, to get the deal done. Okay. And then if I could leave you with just, and again, you're somewhat new, but this is for everybody listening, super important, 2 words. You want to get these bad boys tattooed on your arms. You just can never forget them. Number 1, okay, if I want to get you into a meeting, curiosity is the word. Okay, so I'm going to find you, Valerie, I'm going to find you $100,000 in 45 minutes without you spending $1 on marketing or advertising. No doubt you could see how that would make anybody curious, including Warren Buffett, Tony Robbins, the gurus of the gurus. They'd hear that and go, holy smokes, let me at them. Like, yeah, how the hell do you do that? And show me the way. Could you see how that would make people curious and why the elevator pitch is that way?
Yes.
And then, okay, secondarily, now you get in front of them. Okay. The second word is certainty. So now your job, because you can, go through all like the process, but if they don't have certainty that they're going to spend, let's say $2,000 a month, 24 grand a year, your coaching fees, and that would be about right? $2,000 a month. You need to make them feel certain that they are going to make a handsome return on investment on that 24 grand. And the baseline example, just assume if they double their money, they'll be doing well. So you found them 100 grand and you want to position it that if everything goes wrong, surely we could do $48,000 over the next 12 months, which means you'd be doubling your money as a result of spending time with me. So this is where certainty comes in. So the way I describe that is you sell money at a discount. So if I had a 10 and you had a 5 and I said, let's trade, again, you'd go either he's full of crap. So you'd look for some social proof. And once you established that I wasn't full of crap, you'd make the exchange immediately. And then you'd ask to do it a second, third, or fourth time. Right? So you kind of get that money at a discount. So the certainty when you're closing the coaching client, the certainty is that they're going to pay you $2,000 a month, 24 grand a year, and they are going to make again, roughly double return of that which would be 48 grand. So if you understand that to be the 100% game plan, I find that it makes it a lot easier for a lot of coaches getting started. Does that make sense? Does that help?
Yes, that helped a lot. Thank you so much. This was great.
Yeah, cool. So remember those two words, curiosity, certainty. Curiosity, certainty, always. Okay, that's awesome. Thanks so much. Great questions, Valerie.
Thank you.
All right, Pat, my man. I'm going to move us up here. Brian Wrigley. Hang on a sec. Yo, Brian, what's happening?
Hello.
The man with the music.
Hey, yeah, I've turned it down. I've now got the neighbour mowing. So yeah, it's a quick question. How much are you guys charging to go through a full report? Are we just doing it with the Jumpstart now? Is that basically our diagnostic introduction first?
Yeah, that's a great question. And there's so many different answers, and it depends on your experience. As a coach, maybe your tenacity, your guts, what all of those things all that bring into your coaching, and everyone's going to have a different rate that they're going to charge. A lot of people are giving away this profit jumpstart or a 45-minute assessment or an hour or whatever. They're just saying, hey, that's the meeting. Let me just show you that I can help you by helping you. And so you might take them through 3 or 4 areas and just give that away at a lunch meeting, a coffee meeting, a meeting in your office or their office. So that would be something you could give away for free. If you've got if you've already got them in a meeting, maybe and it's a webinar, you could sell this. I think you could say, hey, let's do this together. I'm going to run you through something. It's going to just be $197 or $297 or $97 or whatever you want to put on that. So again, it depends on your level of experience. Now, when you go into the full assessment, you should not be giving this away. This full assessment, let's see here. Let's see what we come up. This on a good day, and you're moving along at a higher rate, and you're not going down rabbit trails, will be 4 to 5 hours as a minimum. And so you do not give away that time because that cheapens your whole offer. So what can you charge for it? Now, we've heard on the Ask the Expert call before a couple weeks ago that there's no way that you should be charging less than $10,000 for this. I mean, I think you've got to have a lot of, what's the word, Carl?
A big pair of cojones, I think is the word.
Yeah, well done, Brian. Good job. Great job, dude. I'm leaving. Brian's running the show with you now.
Take over. Yeah. So, I mean, you've got to do that, or you've got to be in a company that you've already sold them because they're whatever $20 million company, $50 million company, and they go, yeah, well, that's a good return on investment. Now, there's a way you can guarantee that, of course, and this is what I've done in the past. Is I've said, look, the payment comes in 2 parts because I want to take away your risk. We realize that in any business situation, one party is always asked to take on more risk than the other party. So the more that I can take away the risk from your shoulders and put it on my shoulders, the easier it is to do business together. Does that make sense, Mr. Jones? He goes, yeah, of course. You go, well, here's what I'd like to do. The payment comes in two parts. One is when we agree to do it, when I first show up. And the second is when I deliver the report a week later. So, it's going to be whatever, $4,000. So you'll give me a check for $2,000 when I show up. But here's the way that I take away your risk, is that we're going to get going in this assessment. And after an hour, if you see that I haven't provided you the value that you're expecting, you can say, Patrick, let's stop right here. I don't see the value. At that point, I just give your check back and we part as friends. However, if you see that we're providing value and we're finding the breakthroughs and there are things that you think you can easily implement to make the profit, at that point you say, hey, let's keep going and we're going to finish this assessment. I'm going to deliver the report after a week later because I have to go away and work on this report. It's going to be a roadmap for you to follow. And at that point, when I deliver the report, that's when you give me the balance of the fee. So, I've charged, I think, up to $37.50 US was the highest I've ever charged. A lot of it could be the market. I mean, that was in Jakarta, Indonesia, when I was doing some consulting there. In our market here in Kelowna, BC, it seems like it's consultant rich, and there's a lot of people giving away stuff, and a lot of people think they should get things for nothing. And it's actually harder to charge a higher price here, at least it was for me. So you might charge $2,000 for an assessment if you're in a harder market. But again, if you've got the cojones, like you said, then if you can go out and charge 10 grand and get away with it, then by all means do it. But you've got to provide value, and you've got to give them something that they go, oh my goodness, this is amazing. Now, let me make a point on this. You've got the report and the roadmap. And when you come in here and you want to view the okay, let me go to another one because I haven't done anything with that. Thank you very much. Let me go this one. Found a couple breakthroughs. Yeah. This is something that I would recommend you say before you deliver this, because when you come to this 435, whatever that is, $1,000 profit acceleration roadmap, all you're really doing is giving them a lot of bullet points of what you're going to do. And that's not really impressive to look at that. I mean, they might not think so. They might be expecting a lot more. So what I do before I even deliver the roadmap is I say, look, Mr. Jones, the real secret here, the real power is in our conversation. I'm going to deliver a roadmap which will be a summary of our conversation, but it really lays out step by step what it is you're going to do. But that just gives us the basis to work from. The power and the magic happens in the actual meeting that we have together. Does that sound fair? And they'll always say, oh yeah, it sounds fair. So when you deliver the roadmap printed out, it won't look super impressive, but then you can say as you deliver it, now remember I said, Mr. Jones, that the power was in the meeting. We agreed it was a really powerful meeting. This is a summary of what we talked about, and this is our roadmap going forward. So let's get started. And you just assume it at that point that it's going to be fine. Otherwise, they might walk away going, oh, this is all I get. So something I did, and this was years ago, I used to deliver a report that was over 100 pages long. And it was impressive to hold in your hand. It was fully bound, and it was pretty awesome. But and William remembers that because he was part of that process years ago. The problem was no one wants to read 100 pages. CEO is like, no, give me a summary report. So we spent years going down the wrong trail a long time ago. Thankfully, we've solved that now, I think. So does that help you? Oh, we lost him.
Hello, Brian. We might have lost him. Hang on, let's look. Oh, he's muted.
Okay.
Oh, Brian, you're self-muted. That's okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure I chime in with, but guys, again, you can charge, $5 grand, 10 grand for assessments and whatnot. But when you do your math, I'd always want to plug a client in at roughly, let's just call it $1,000 to $3,000 a month. You'll always make more that way. Well, presuming, of course, the client continues with you, you certainly have the opportunity to crush anything that would look like 10 grand. If you've got a $2,000 a month client, you get to 12 months, that's 24 grand versus 10,000 for an assessment. So again, thinking of that repeat business, super important. Okay, cool. Brian said he's been muted, but it's superb. Who am I going to? Dave McKenzie, we're coming for you, bud. Dave McKenzie, you're live.
Hey, Carl. How you doing?
Hey, fabulous.
Good. Couple of questions. Now, in the Breakthrough 40, I've got a client, and I've done a lot of work inside it, so I've been studying, but I'm doing a full Breakthrough 40 on Thursday. But they don't have a sales teams per se. It's a construction business, and I've just helped them hire a new VP of operations. The owner wants to kind of step aside, so we're going through this process. So should I just leave that, or like, they're not gonna, their sales manager is the owner and the VP of operations. There's no salespeople. They have estimators.
Yeah, a lot of it won't apply, but there might be some things like prospecting and lists that might apply. So just kind of run through those. Dream clients still might apply. Trade shows might apply. Dealing with decision makers might apply. Closing the sale, above we have initial close rate and follow-up close rate, and that happens here under more conversions. So you're going to cover those anyway, and these are much, much more in depth.
Right, okay.
And then order fulfillment and buyer's remorse still might be applicable. So these are kind of more of the quick hit. You can find some possibilities there. But let's say you go in and you jump in and you start finding, let's go on buyer's remorse. And one of the things you'll do in an assessment is you might read this, you might start down this alley here, and they go, buyer's remorse a current problem. It's like, no, not really. And you might find yourself jumping in here very quickly, and you're going, well, there's not really opportunity here. Like, you don't even have to follow up if you don't think it's a problem at all, or if it's not applicable. So you can ask the question, you can say, explain why, but that might be it. So it's very quick if you go down that path. If you go down, if it is a problem, you got a lot more questions to ask. So your goal is not to spend a day with these people. Your goal is to find the breakthroughs as quick as you can. And you spend your consulting time, coaching time over the next year figuring out how to make it work and going deeper into each area.
Okay. So while when we're doing the quick version, we might only do 3 or 4. On this version, we should do them all, and then just see what comes out of it.
Well, some areas might be instantly, like sales team. If you're helping someone who's just a solopreneur, then you're not going to sales team. So you can skip some things.
Okay.
Now it depends on your time.
They've set the day aside for me, so time is not going to be an issue.
I would still make sure you focus and just talk to them right at the very beginning about, we're going to go down some rabbit trails because that's where we find some surprise profits, but we're going to cut ourselves off really quick if there's nothing there, because we have a lot to get through. And let me tell you, 6, 7, 8 hours with a client will be exhausting for both you and the client.
Right.
So they'll appreciate it if you've finished your assessment in 4 to 5 hours and not.
Yeah, I've kind of thought 4 to 5 hours, but they have set the day for me. So.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and just a note for everyone, like you've got some areas like publicity and PR. Now, if you're going to ask questions in an area, but you don't have experience in this area, then it's probably better to leave it alone. Because let's say you find a breakthrough, they're going to say, oh, we could do this. Now, either you're going to do it or you're going to have to outsource it. And if you don't have that set up to help them get free publicity or work on their PR campaign or something, their publicity campaign, if you don't have that experience, then you shouldn't be asking those questions. Same with digital marketing. If you're going to find breakthroughs, and you'll almost always find breakthroughs in digital marketing. Now, if you don't have someone to help you implement this, if you don't have a partner ready to go who's like, yeah, just let me at them, bring me the clients and I'll help you as your partner. If you don't have that, then perhaps you should stay away from digital marketing, because they'll say, hey, can you help me do that pay-per-click campaign? And if you aren't experienced, you better not touch it, because that would just be doing a disservice to them.
Okay. Good advice. Good advice.
Beautiful. Good
Okay.
stuff. I love it.
Now,
all right. Well,
so
the question?
One other quick question on the quick start.
Yep.
So asking for the 45 minutes, that makes sense now. But to do a full quick start, what are we talking about? Hour and a half?
It could be hour and a half, 2 hours, perhaps.
Yeah.
It depends on the rabbit trails. I'd give you at least an hour and a half.
Right. Okay. Now, Carl, you mentioned something about doing the quick start and then selling the breakthrough 40.
Yep.
Is that, or should we if we see it, we should jump right to the coaching program?
Okay, this profit jumpstart, because what you're talking about is an existing client, right? Somebody you've already got a long-standing relationship with.
In this case, I'm not even doing profit jumpstart with them.
Yeah, I know exactly. That's what I mean. So profit jumpstart is designed to get the client to get the deal done, close them at $2,000 a month.
Right.
And now you're working with them, and now it's like, okay, let's really go in and let's find the breakthroughs and let's find what we should start on and let's get to work. This is where I would start with doing a breakthrough 40 process to go and find the magic and get started on it. But the thing is, as you well know, sometimes you just don't know where that magic is. That's why you go through the process.
Right. So if they weren't jumping to the $2,000 a month, then you could say, hey, listen, we can do just to go in deeper, we can do a breakthrough 40 that's going to take, half a day, and, we can do that for $19.97 or something like that.
100%. So a down sell, 100%.
Okay, but if they're ready to go coaching, go straight there. Okay, perfect.
That's exactly it. Cool. Okay, good job, man. Great questions, Dave. Thanks, man. Okay, we're going to go John Kazar. John, we're coming for you. John, you're live.
Hang on, Dave. Hang on, Carl. Let me just address something with Dave, though.
Okay.
So, Dave, just remember that even when you start with them with a client, they haven't gone through the Breakthrough 40, but you're starting them as a client. The first thing you're still going to do is go through the Breakthrough 40 as part of your coaching session, because you have to find out where to start and what the roadmap is for this client. So, anyway, go ahead, Carl. Sorry.
Good point. Perfect. Okay, I got another question here from John.
John.
Yeah, hi guys.
Hey.
I'm sure you guys are probably tired of hearing it, but this is like really cool stuff. But
oh, thanks.
We're not tired of hearing that. Tell us again.
Yeah, no, I was going to say not really. Keep going.
But I got it's a real quick question, and it's more on the reporting side, and it's on the summary of the report. So my background, I got a lot of experience in cost cutting. And so one of the things I did is I created a test and in essence focused on nothing but cost cutting, no new revenue. Mm-hmm. And then when I ran the report and it said, show me the roadmap, the default looks like it brings up the revenue potential rather than the profit potential.
Oh, on the roadmap.
On the roadmap itself. Because when I ran it, it basically said, here's my $0, but I was shown an 86% increase in profit when you go through the entire thing. So I don't know if that's just something that we should be able to edit on our own.
Oh, absolutely.
Or if that's something you want to change on the report.
Now, this is just like a default title we're giving it.
Okay.
Now, if you're focusing more on cost cutting and you haven't done anything on the revenue, obviously you'll have the zero profit acceleration roadmap, which doesn't sell well. But this whole report is yours to edit as you see fit. You can add paragraphs, you can take away. What we want to do with the roadmap here and the report as well is just give you a base so that you don't have to spend a week writing a report and thinking out what to say. That obviously this roadmap, you can download it and you can adjust it really quick. I think you're just adjusting some fonts or something and changing it from Times New Roman to Arial or whatever. The report takes a little bit more editing, but there's a whole video on how to do that. We won't cover it here. But you're free to add paragraphs, subtract, all those things. If you feel confident that you can word something better, then go ahead and word it better. I mean, if you want to change colors or rebrand it, whatever, it's yours to do that. So you can go ahead and do that. But this is just the title we came up with.
Yeah, no, and like I said, it was good. And because even by cost cutting, you can, like I said, I showed just by the test, I had an 86% profit. But is there the other follow-up question to that then? So I know you can download it in a Word format.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a future to download it in a PowerPoint format?
No.
No. Okay.
Is there a future? We haven't thought of that. Man, that would be brilliant if we could. Yeah. What do you think, William?
Well, what we can do is, yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
We can download in a PDF. PDF is possible and quick, because it's PDF. You can actually even present it like a PowerPoint.
Yeah, because PowerPoint you can edit, Word you can edit, but PDF sometimes gets a little difficult to edit.
Oh yeah, yeah. Then if you want to edit, Word would be better for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's we'll have a discussions on that about bringing into a PowerPoint, because I know when I've presented, like I've gone and presented the findings to a company, I've always prepared a PowerPoint because I don't want to just give them the whole document and say here, and they start looking at it, but they're not listening to what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the idea of, man, having something right into a PowerPoint that, man, see, you're giving me more work to do now. This is good.
Yeah, no, perfect, you bastard. Put them back on silent.
Yeah,
That's awesome. No, that's good. Good. Yeah, I like that. Let's we'll discuss that, Pat. That's a pretty cool idea. Valerie agrees here in the comments. She says, "Wow, that PowerPoint would be cool." So there you go. Awesome. Okay, John, you good?
Hey, we're good. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Great
Back
question.
on mute. Yeah, well done. Okay, I am going. Hang on, guys. Where are we going here? Phil, just send an email. Phil's asking about just making sure he's got the 3.0 version. Pat, in order to do that, they just email pas@noresults-no fee. Is that right?
Yeah, they can do that. Everyone's got it right now. So maybe, William, you could talk about, because I had 2 emails this morning that came through like, I don't have 3.0 or whatever. I can't see.
Yeah.
So what can they do? So I think here's the problem is they're coming in here, they're clicking on new assessment, and they click on select module set, and they only see Profit Jumpstart. Now I've given it to them. So what should they do to actually see it?
Okay, so today I had several meetings just to assist some coaches who had some trouble with the software. So most of them, what I found out is that either one actually was accessing the old software, which is still doesn't have the features we have in the new software. But the other guys, what we ended up doing was actually refreshing the browser, and everything just turns up that the browser was just caching up, like the Chrome, the way it caches up everything. But what we have done is that every time we set up a new coach, you actually automatically get the Profit Jumpstart and the Breakthrough 40 immediately. So what you do is, if you're already logged in before, just log out, do a Control-Shift-R, which is refresh on the browser, then log in. Once you log in, you should actually have the 2 modules when you're creating an assessment.
Yeah. Pat, I think you sent those out in the instructions, did you not?
I did, yeah. So.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Awesome. Control. There you go. Good job.
Control-Shift-R. So that's what you use. And
another thing I found out during the call, just for me to mention this, some browsers were having a hard time to actually clear that history and that cache. So I had to work through some guys to do a manual refresh. just like going to settings and clearing the history and having them to close the browser, open it up, log in again, and that's when it was working for them.
All right, so yeah, if you're having that problem, then actually, here's the best place to go for support. If you got a support ticket, click on the support tab here on in your software. Put your name in there. Now, if you have a technical question, just click it to technical. This is going to go straight to William. If you ask me a technical question, all I have to do is I'm going to forward it to William. He's going to, I have to talk to you, and then William has to get back with me, and then we have to go back to you. And it's a big circle, and it's kind of a bit of a waste of time. So just click on technical. That'll go to William. If it's non-technical, you can go to me. And that's how we're going to run it right now until we get several thousand members running it and coming in the software. Then it's going to overwhelm us, and it'll go to someone else. So technical goes to William. Just as a reminder, that's under your support right there.
Awesome. Okay, I get a couple more questions here, Pat. I'm just going to answer them, and I want you to chime in with anything you'd like to add.
Yep.
When I'm asking questions and inputting the answers, what is the client looking at? Do they ever ask to follow along? So the answer to that is that it depends on, are you doing a screen share like over the phone, Zoom, or are you doing face-to-face, right? But let's assume you're doing face-to-face. I would have my laptop. You would be the prospect. I'm the coach. I have my laptop. I'm looking at it. It's guiding me through the questions, and I'm inputting the numbers. And then anytime I want you to see something, I'm just turning my laptop, and then you could see it. What would that be? I want to show you, look, we've only gone through 3 sections, and I've already found you X, 89 grand, 100 grand, what have you. That would be an example. Or if you wanted to show them, again, recently we added strategies. Valerie, it's directed at Valerie. Valerie, we included strategies. So if you go to strategies, you click it, there's some really good marketing material there that I would definitely want to use because, they say a picture's worth 1,000, what is it? A picture's worth 1,000 words, right? So the reason we have those images back there is to help you also sell. So the answer is no, they're not going to ask, how do I follow along? The process is that you're asking them questions, they're answering, and you're inputting the data. And then in some cases, you're helping them shape that data. Like you're going to say, how much do you think that would improve your business? They're going to say 15, 20, 25. We hear 50% once in a while, right? Well, you go, whoa. Let's see. If you put that high of number in, the numbers swell too high. So just insist that they choose a number, whatever number they do, you change it to 10% towards the highest and keep it between 3 and 10%. Let's put it that way. So that's the answer to that, Valerie. They're not really going to ask if they can follow along because that's just not the dynamic of the relationship. You're asking them questions, they're giving you answers, you're inputting the data, and then at the end it's like, wow, look what we did together, right? Pat, may I ask, you agree with that? Anything you'd add, or
a couple of things?
Get your slant on it.
Sure. You want to control the whole assessment, so you have to take control and just say, look, we're going to get through it. We're going to move to this section now. You're controlling everything. You let them see the screen when you want them to see the screen. So if you're doing a screen share, there's always a pause button on the screen share. So if you want to go, like, let's say, like, here's an example of what you don't want to do is like, okay, you're sharing your screen. You come in here and you go, okay, I'm just going to change this to 2,000, calculate it because that's my real coaching fee. I mean, that's just amateurish to do that. You don't want to do that, right? So what you'll do is before you come in here and you change it to, it's maybe defaulting at 1,000, you might be on a summary screen. So you pause the sharing there, and then you go into your ROI. Okay, you think, man, I can get 2,000 a month out of this client, or I'm gonna charge $24.97. And so you calculate that. You see that you're still making, good return there, and then you unpause the screen share and you show them this screen and you say, look, Mr. Jones, here's my monthly coaching fee, and it's already there for you. So you don't have to show them everything that you do, but that's what the pause function on the screen share is for. So you have to learn to use that. And if you've never done it, again, that's just like the playing around. You can set up two laptops next to each other and you can see how it works on one screen if you don't have someone to work with it. Just practice by yourself on two different laptops. Do a screen share with the laptop next to you. See how it works. And I mean, really, this is something we should be able to learn in 2 or 3 minutes how to do that.
Yeah, exactly. And the more you do it, to Pat's point, like you practice, you role play on your own, and then you kind of get a bit of a feel for it. And again, you'll just feel comfortable. You'll get much better at it with time. But yeah, good point. So Pat's just saying you got to learn to utilize the pause function on the screen sharing software if you're doing it face to face. Absolutely. Okay, that's good, Pat. I'm going to move on. Yeah, you're good.
Yep. I see Elliot.
Okay,
has a...
Yep, I just got a couple more here. Are we doing? Okay, so Ray is asking. I think a lot of people, are we doing this after we close them as a client, or are we using this data to close them as a client? So that's Ray. So you've got the profit jumpstart is designed to close the client. This is where you find them $100,000 in 45 minutes without them spending $1 on marketing or advertising. Okay, so that's the profit jumpstart. And then once they're a client, this is where you'd go into the breakthrough 40. Like Pat said earlier, this is going to take you a solid 4 hours to get through. You wouldn't want to be donating that time. It's not necessary. It's too advanced. The profit jumpstart is more than enough time and more than enough data and more than enough expertise to bring to the table, to provide them for free, to say, look, do you want me to help you with this stuff? That's what I say to that. Pat, anything you'd add there?
No, that's perfect.
Yep. So Ray, that's the answer there. So how many hours, like somebody's, Mashin is asking, how many hours should they be spending to become familiar with it before doing it with a quote unquote forgiving prospect? I love it. Pat, what would your answer to that be? How long do you recommend?
Okay, so
they play with it.
That's a tough question. And it's maybe a bit harder for me because I've lived inside of the software for so long that I think I've got a message bringing me, Carl, like I want to preach or something here. I've got a message bringing about.
Go, brother, go.
No, it's the high cost of excellence. And I was so inspired by Adrian when I first met him like 10 years ago. And he said, he went to work for some company. It could be one coach or someplace. And he was given a script to learn. And, I think, man, you take a couple days or take a day and a half, you learn a script. And he says they locked him in a room basically for 2 weeks. And they made him practice the script, the stage presentation for 2 weeks, 8 hours a day before they let him out. And I go, oh, my goodness. And you look at Adrian, who's the master scripter of everything. And you go, man, he's so fluid with his stuff. Man, how does he do that? It's like, well, he does it because he spent so much time doing it over and over and over and over again. And there really is a high cost of excellence. So yes, you can go out in a day. You can go out later today and you can work with the client and you'll probably bumble your way through it and you'll probably close the client. And, you can do this imperfectly and still do really well. If you want to be great at it, I would say do 10 mock assessments, 15. Start doing it with friends who own businesses that are in diverse industries and that offer you challenges. You're going to find that as you go through, it's like, oh, this is the way you learn to write is by writing. The way you learn to do this is by doing. And you can practice as much as you want. Probably, I'd say practice it 5-6 times by yourself and then start practicing on friends. Line up whatever, 3, 4, 6, 10 friends. Think of Tony Robbins, who said someone told him something like, I forget how the story goes, but you'll become great after you've, spoken 1,000 times. And he goes, well, I'm going to do that this year. And he lined up like 1,000 speaking engagements in the first year. and look where he became, So you can accelerate everything you do. Go and line up 10 assessments next week. Go and do them all and see what you do. It's going to be exhausting, but you're going to know it better than anyone else. So, yeah,
I just want to reinforce, Pat, what you're saying, and just the magic of what you're looking at. What this guy is like in terms of a tool. Because it's one thing to, put in the effort and put in the time to come up with the scripting, but to have a tool this powerful behind you that's going to very legitimately, it's an unbelievable sales pitch, but then very importantly, it delivers at the highest level. Like you've seen it, you've played with it. Those that have used it, you hear them raving. It's just a game changer. So just buy into it 100%, and you become excellent at this. You are going to, go craft yourself one heck of a profitable business consulting / coaching career. There is no question.
So let me just say one more thing. I love that answer.
Yeah, please do.
Okay, so you might have seen these marketing business growth gurus. They stand on stage and someone asks a difficult challenge, and they answer that. It doesn't matter what the challenge is, they've got a great answer. Like you literally have in your hands now the ability to stand on a stage with any type of business anywhere in the world, any size, any industry, and you can find that business a breakthrough. And all you do is you start going through questions, and you could start at market dominating position, and you start asking brilliant questions. These brilliant questions are all scripted for you. You can find breakthroughs for anyone. And literally, I bet you if you wanted to, you could ask if you have high school students or even junior high school students, you could get them to find breakthroughs for any business. Now, they don't have the wisdom to help that business, and you might not either. Of course, you're going to be better than your junior high school student, but that's where the implementation calendar comes in. And as you go into implementation calendar and you hit market dominating position, every step is laid out for you in your coaching path. So we're giving you the wisdom to do it, or at least the tools to gain the wisdom very quickly. You're not going to have to spend 20 years being, consulting for businesses to stand on a stage and find breakthroughs. You can do it, this month, literally.
Yeah.
You've got that ability this month.
Yep. And by the way, important where you've just gone, Pat. I think these are the answers at the back of the book. So you've got the questions, but now you get the answers in the back of the book. So it's not just about the questions, it's also about the answers. So make sure that you're hovering back and forth. So we get Nova Shed. Who was that? But yeah, anyways, bottom line, let's just go 10 hours. As a templated answer, we're going to say 10 hours, but it should be significantly more than that. So good stuff. And should we charge business friends for the mock assessments, full price, discounted price? Bren, totally up to you and kind of, what you could pull off. Obviously, if you could charge them a little bit, this would make more sense. It's going to show that much more, A, commitment from them, and then B, your ability to start monetizing all this activity. So, but again, I would do, you charge them, $250, let's say $247 to go through a, the profit jumpstart. I think that'd be awesome start. But at the end of the day, to Pat's point, just whatever you do, just get active with this like crazy. This makes sense. Thank you. Okay, we got Elliot. We got to go to Elliot here. Elliot. My boy Elliot, the Dallas Cowboy fan.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, Elliot.
I don't know if I can talk to Elliot if he's a Dallas fan.
Yeah. You're an Eagles fan, aren't you? There you go. You guys are
Look
enemies.
at this. Like this is the screensaver to end all things. So
Elliot,
I might be able to give you advice, but it might lead you down the wrong path.
Yeah, there you go. Cowboys fan. Let's screw them up.
They're gonna
How you doing, Elliot?
I'm doing okay. We have a franchise quarterback. He just signed his agreement yesterday.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry for you.
$31 million. That's all. But anyway, for 1 year.
Nothing serious.
Nothing serious. Hey, two questions. One possible change or suggestion on, and let me go back and find it. Under the financials, when you say what industry are you in, I'm finding, at least for one of my clients, a very difficult I can't find a category really to put him in. He's a general contractor. So he builds homes, he remodels homes, and he does light commercial work. So all of those have different profit margins. And I found home building, but he really doesn't. I mean, yes, he does some, but it's only a small percentage. I'm just wondering, is it a possibility of creating an other where we could add our own?
Okay, William, that's a great question for William. William, is there something we can do here where we can have a space below it if it says, if you can't find your industry, enter the net profit margin and gross profit margin here?
Right, because I've got those from different, I can research that and I already know what they are.
Yeah.
So that's possible. That's possible. We can add an other option within the drop down, so that once you select other, another option will come up for you, so where you can enter your own percentages.
That would be great. That would be absolutely great.
And William, let's put that at the very top. So when they click on this, the first thing they see is other. They don't have to scroll down to the O's.
Yeah.
And so they click on the other, and then these spaces come up: net profit margin, gross profit margin. They can enter them there and then submit them. It's a really good idea, Elliot.
Thank you. There's 2 or 3 websites that I found. Sometimes you can get to them, sometimes you can't, and they are pretty up to date that will have industry averages. So it's information that's, I mean, you have to do a little bit of searching and research for it, but it's not difficult to find. The other is a possible bug. I went through an example with my general contractor, and he hasn't seen this yet. I just did it on my own because I've been working with this guy for 2 years, and he still needs a lot of help. But anyway, and I downloaded the report and looked at it in Word, and the heading didn't come out on the first page. Let me go back to what it looks like.
I can already answer that for you. So we go to no results, no fee / software. So go to / software. You're going to scroll down, and there's a whole video here on editing the software report. This one here. So watch this video, and it's addressed in that video.
Okay.
The report is extremely difficult to get right, and basically the problem there was we're trying to overlay text across images, and have it's custom text, responsive text across images, and it was really hard. So watch this video on editing the report, and you'll see where to go from there.
Is it okay? I'm looking at it right now. Is it the one that says the reports and roadmaps?
No, editing the software report.
The one to the right of that. It's on the screen.
Oh, wait, there it is. Editing the software report. Okay, got it. I will watch that.
All right.
Beautiful. Okay, great. Okay, I'll put you back on mute. I think we are good. So Pat, am I just in closing here, guys? I want to make sure everybody stays on the same page as Pat when he opened. Did a great job of explaining. Look, the goal here, guys, the goal isn't to go and spend an hour with everyone. The goal isn't this isn't so much a training call, although that will happen kind of organically. But if you could do us a favor, I want you to come ready, locked, and loaded with any questions that you have related to the software in any way, shape, or form. Some of those are going to be like in a sales capacity that, again, will become a little bit of training. But the idea is questions for software come locked, loaded, plug them in. We will answer them one by one. And we're going to be doing this twice a week for the foreseeable future. So Carl, you agree with that? Anything you want to add?
I just want to add something. I know you've got to run, and probably William does as well. I'm happy to hang around. I think there might be a couple more questions that I can get to, and if that's okay. And
that would be awesome.
Yeah,
and I do need to jet. So yeah, I'm having a look here. So you got the board. So I'm going to, I'm going to jet out, but that's the game plan here moving forward, guys. So we'll see you in a couple of days with questions for Profit Acceleration Software. Pat, William, appreciate you guys being here, and I got to bolt.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay. No problems.
All right. So I think I got Michelle Salinas. And Michelle, I think you're live.
Hi, Pat.
Hey.
So I just wanted to get a little more clarity about the industries that qualify for this, because in some of the networking that I've done lately, I'm coming across a lot of business owners that have like home-based businesses, network marketing, and I personally don't necessarily want to work with them, but I mean, I'd like to be able to help them, but I just don't know if it's a good fit for this. And so I just wanted to get more clarity around that because I don't want to waste my time.
I think you're on the right track. I wouldn't waste your time. I've never liked to work with them. So I think if you don't like, think of it this way, maybe philosophically, that life is short and you want to work with those that you want to work with. And so if you find that there's a business you don't like to work with, you can just tell people, normally I don't work with your type of business. I'd be happy to run a quick start on your business. It's only $497.
Okay.
So you just double the price or give them a high price. If they're really anxious to do it, and you can help them, then just make sure you're getting paid well for it. But you don't have to help them, for sure.
Right. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, I was set up years ago by, put my 10,000 hours in with Jay Abraham, and he just hated working with network marketers. He wouldn't do it at all. And so that's where I learned it from. And I've always kind of held the same philosophy, I guess. So.
Okay, makes sense. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, Phil Gilks.
Hey, Pat.
So how do you pronounce your last name so I don't mess it up again?
It's like Giraffe and George.
Giraffe and George?
Jilks.
Okay. Jilks. Okay. Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Adrian's been leading me astray all these years.
Yeah, he did. I wanted to smack him one, but you know what? It's only a name.
Okay. There you go.
Amazing effort. I got my question answered. I was looking to see where the new 3.0 is, but you've called it something different, and I have been playing with it while you're talking.
Nice.
I have no issues other than, there's a lot of stuff in here.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I actually went and played with the sales one because I'm working on, I actually delivered the proposal already for some sales training for a large distributor, which is a category that's not listed in the industry specifically.
Okay.
So I picked construction, but they're actually an HVAC distribution company that does $1 billion in revenue and looking to get to $2 billion.
Wow. I hope you land them for sure.
Well, I've done some work with them for the last 4 years, but more to do.
Good. Well, just, Carl and Adrian and I had a meeting yesterday about the future of the software and the checklist that we have. And, William's spending this week and next, maybe even another week, just tidying up some things so things run better. And then we're going to be off to the races with a whole bunch of other upgrades and things that we want to do and we've been wanting to do for a while. So so it's just going to keep evolving and developing, and I'd say we're 3/4 of the way there maybe, but a year from now we might still be 3/4 of the way, but it's just a bigger 3/4. So
yeah, no, the pie gets bigger. It's awesome.
Yes, absolutely.
I kind of have what did you call it when you were talking about the younger people and and you gave you and me a name.
We're digital immigrants.
Okay, so being a digital immigrant, one of the challenges I've had, not with this version because I haven't actually done a report, so maybe it's a moot point, but when I was doing the 2.0 version, I do the report, I export it out save it as a Word doc, and then I try to put some stuff in it. I find that I'm challenged with making things work in the Word environment.
So go to this video, editing the software report.
Okay.
And have a look at that. And if you're challenged in Word, which I know many people are, find a young person that can help you, or you can go on Fiverr. Like, I don't even know how old you are, but I'm assuming we're both immigrants. So
Yeah, we
you know,
are.
these young people today, they're pretty amazing what they can do. And just go to a word expert on Fiverr or Upwork or something like that and say, I need help editing this report and setting up a template so I can edit it better next time. But I think you should be able to, with these instructions, you should be able to get through it in about an hour. And if not, then I can't help you. I'd say go
So to
find.
help you put context in this, you and I caught a cab, not a cab, but a van at the airport, and I paid too much money for a beer.
Right. That's true. I remember. Yeah. Okay. That's true. Yes. Well, I was actually glad to meet you. I was kind of lost right there. So.
Oh, no kidding. It was crazy. Anyway, it was a good conference. But you guys have done a stellar job here. I think pretty much it's been, well, whenever you develop software, there's always spec creep. And as if you've tested the best you can and different variables show up and something goes awry. And you guys have fixed it quickly and swiftly. So, and listen to the input of the other coaches that are smarter than me and made it better for all of us.
That's the whole thing, is like we come in with just a certain level of intelligence and experience, and we're surrounded by brilliant people, which are all of you, and you've come at the world from a whole different viewpoint. And I mean, we have to lean upon you guys to be better at this. So that's, like hearing like, oh, we should have a PowerPoint download. Yeah, we should. And I knew we should, but it had gone to the back of my mind. And here it's the front of my mind again. So hopefully that'll get done in the next, 6 to 9 months. Hopefully, I don't know.
That's
fits in.
What's the intent of the PowerPoint download? That's intriguing.
Yeah, so I think it'll be useful when you, let's say you do a full assessment, or even if you do a quick start and you want to present something to a client to get their buy-in, maybe for a long-term coaching. So you might do a full assessment. You're going to come out with this. This is probably not the best one because there's nothing there. You're going to come out with this report or roadmap. And when you walk in that client's office with a roadmap, then it's not super impressive. I mean, it's nice to have and it's vital to have. It's not super impressive. Like, it's a few pages, and you might bind it, of course, nicely, which you should do, and print in a high quality paper and good color and not cheaply off your own printer maybe. So, but when you walk in, you say, oh, I have a presentation, and you set up your mini projector or your laptop and you walk them through it. It gives you the chance to talk around the talking points. And I think it's a lot better than just handing them a document and saying, here you go, and here's what we need to do. So I used to have one I'd do, and I talk about, the money they're leaving on the table. And I'd throw cartoons in there that we used to use and say, just cartoons with whatever you'd get, I'd purchase cartoons off of Shutterstock or something and just kind of make them laugh because they're feeling bad. And sometimes they're on the verge of tears because their business has gone so poorly and they've lost a lot of money and they've been fighting as couples or whatever. And you come and say, yeah, you have left $500,000 on the table. But and then you switch to a cartoon and you go, but there's hope for you. And you make them laugh a bit and they start wiping away tears. I've literally seen this, and they're laughing, but they're wiping away their tears, and you're bringing hope into the situation. And then you show like how good it's going to get and how they can take advantage of it risk-free. And at the end, you're just like, okay, and by the way, here's the report. Here's what we're going to walk through, and you can work through this on your own time. Things like that. So that's how I see it working. And I'm sure with Carl and Adrian, we'll be scripting this and building something that is useful and powerful, and hopefully that will be my goal. So
I like that idea.
I do too. Yeah, just takes time.
Yes.
Good. Any other questions, Phil?
No, that's it. Great job to you and team.
Good. You're welcome. Welcome. All right. I'm going to move down the board, see if there's another question. And I think we've got everyone. If you have a question, just maybe raise your hand. There's a little hand signal. Just raise the hand there. If I don't see it, then I invite you to write me an email, pass at noresults-nofee.com. Let's see who else. That could be it. So let me see, Bren Eifler. Bren, are you there? You have a question?
Hey man, I'm still here. I'm just listening to everybody. I'm actually, I don't know, gosh, 1.5 weeks into the program, maybe 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
So I am binge watching and listening to everything.
Nice.
If I was going to ask anything, it's probably around, just the idea of, okay, the quick start. And again, I still have to go through my call 3. And so, if you're going to answer questions that would be redundant, feel free to just say, hey, you'll get that answered. But the profit jumpstart, quick start, is that the same thing as the 10K in 45 minutes?
No, it's not. It's something different. Yeah, so you'll go through that. I think it's Walter someone. And then the 10K training, I think they used to use the 10K in 45 minutes. That's what they used to use. We're now switching over to the Profit Jumpstart. We're also going to change the training from the current 10K training to, it's going to be called the 100K training, because 10K is just not, that's just child's play with what we're doing now, with what we can do with. So we're going to change it to a 100K training. It's on my calendar next week to start working with Adrian. And we're going to start developing that next week. It'll probably take a lot longer than a week to develop, but that's definitely on the calendar for next week to start developing the 100K training. And we're going to be kind of blending the current 10K training with the software. So we'll have the best of both worlds in that experience.
Nice. So the Profit Jumpstart, so the 10K in 45 minutes was a free offer, and the Profit Jumpstart is going to be a paid offer or a free offer? Or is that?
It's up to you. It's up to you. Yeah. You can make it a free offer. Think of it this way: that unless you have a great reputation already, business owners are skeptical of who you are and what you can do.
Right.
So you have to get into their good graces very quickly, and you do that by asking powerful questions and finding them solutions, practical solutions, just in a quick meeting. So you can say to them, look, if I can't help you in 45 minutes, I'm just not the right person for you. But let me just see if I can help you by helping you. And let's just meet for coffee, or let's meet at your office or something, and we'll just take 45 minutes, and I'll respect your time and see what we can do. And they go, okay, it sounds fair. So it's just very non-threatening. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good. Obviously you're working out the language, but the Profit Jumpstart is, the same idea of, hey, we're going to look at your business and find 100,000 instead of 10,000.
Well, I would, depending on which business you're dealing with. If you're talking to a mom and pop shop that's only making 250,000, then well, you might actually find them 100,000, but they might not believe it. So you could say 10K or 25K, or make up whatever number you want. If you're dealing with a $50 million company, they don't care about 100K, right? They might say 10 million. So you might say, let me see if I can increase your net profits by 5%, or something like that. You can just language it any way you find works best there. And again, it's, if you're meeting with a big company and you get to talk to a decision maker, then what they're looking for is solutions, because they got lots of headaches in companies like that as well. So they're looking for someone who can help them solve those problems. But then you need the skill set to deal with a bigger company like that. So,
right. That's good. This is exciting. I look forward to seeing that when it comes out.
All right, very good. You're welcome.
In the meantime, in the meantime, everything is relevant today that applies to the program going forward, correct?
What do you mean everything is relevant?
Oh, well, the 10K training,
Oh, yeah. Okay. The path they have you on is brilliant, and we find that the people who follow the path best get the best results.
Yep. No, I'll go forward and consume it all. Thanks, man.
Yeah, you're so welcome. All right. Have a great day. All right, I think that's all. Last chance to raise your hand. Oh, we have Ike. Ike, it's so great to see your hand there, and I love following you on Facebook. It's kind of fun.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So 2 questions. I apologize. I'm supposed to be on a call in like 7 minutes, and for whatever reason, I can't log into the software with my credentials.
Okay. So let me just pause showing my screen and tell me if you can see me working in the settings. Can you see it?
I still see the roadmap up.
Perfect. Okay. So what I'm doing, that's pausing worked. You know, Adrian had to teach me that because I didn't know it. Hang on. I'm just going to solve it for you right now because where are you? There you are. Now it's sending you a new, like an email to your winning the money game email.
.net. Okay.
So yeah, just so you should get that right
.net.
now.
Are you sending it to?
Yes,
Gotcha.
moneygame.net. So you should have that email in your inbox right now. So click on the link it gives you in there, and hopefully that works.
Profit acceleration of your account. All right, I just saw that come through. The next question I have for licensees, you know how we have the 14-minute video that we use to kind of explain the opportunity to potential licensees? Do we have anything either created or in the works that kind of highlights the brilliance of the PAS software in terms of what they would be able to do as a licensee?
Yeah, actually, I don't even know what you have as licensees because that's just completely out of my division here. But we are, man, I've had this request a couple times in the last 24 hours. And so we're going to think of a way to come up with the most brilliant way to present the software. And it might be something that my idea is to put out a contest to see who can come up with the best way, because I'm sure there's so many brilliant ways out there. But yeah, I took that to Adrian already this morning. He's like, yep, we need to do it. So how soon it gets done, we'll do our best.
Okay. Thank you so much. That's all I got. Appreciate it.
Sure, you're welcome. And if I may, let's see here. Okay, hang on. All right, good. So I think that's all. I think that's all the questions. Oh, yeah, Mike's done. So, well, I thank you for joining us. We're going to be back here again on Thursday at 3 p.m. So in the meantime, if you have a question, you can send the question to PAS at noresults-nofee.com. You can send it there, or even more ideally, if you've got a question, go into support. If it's technical question, come in support, click on the technical. If it's non-technical, it'll come to me. If it's technical, it goes to William. He'll get better service there. Now, he is on the other side of the world in Kenya, but when he wakes up, he takes care of those things and before he goes to bed. So thanks, everyone. Hope you have a great day, and look forward to continue to connect with you. All right, all the best. Bye-bye.